Hello friends, it is Melissa with Junk and Craft Treasures on the Essential Stencil page. Alright, so we're going to work with these beautiful vintage transfers tonight. They're one of my favorites. We're also going to be using, maybe I'm not 100% sure, but the Love is Patient stencil has been restocked, guys. So I don't know if you've got that notification today or not, but this one has been restocked. Okay guys, so I have this box that I got from Michael's when it was on sale. I went ahead and stained it because I want to show you a couple things before we get started with the transfers. When you buy, this is the color of the wood. It's like this light blonde color right here. I'll do the bottom later. But when you stain wood like this and it's been glued together and in mass production, sometimes when you stain things, the glues are soaked into the wood and you can't help that. So I did want to show y'all that on some of the edges. It's where the glue was. So when you buy pieces of like this, when you get them when they're on sale and stuff from those places, like Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Walmart, all of those, make sure if you're going to stain them that you kind of look at them beforehand and won't be upset if you're just going to stain them and maybe have some of that glue show. I know that kind of was like a ramble round around there. I can't even talk, y'all. Okay, so again, this was the before color. This is the after color. I'm just using water-based dark walnut is the color that I'm using. Okay, here we go. Okay, y'all can't see it, but we're doing the duck egg blue. Let me move that to the front so you can see. It is a chalk-based paint. They just don't have this color in my Fusion, guys. So, okay, so we are going to take this. We're not going to dry brush it, but we're going to do it kind of light. So we're just going to start over at the edge, and then I'm going to bring it in like so. Okay, so we're going to let some of that stain show through in some spots, and then I'm going to kind of bring it this direction, and then I'll even it out when I get to the middle. All right, the same thing on the side. Okay, so that's the second side. All right, so like I said, this is chalk paint, so we're just going to take a high grit sandpaper and I'm just going to sand it a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to wipe off that chalk residue. So we want to make sure that that's off. All right, so we're going to use my favorite vintage stamps. We are going to do this whole thing with transfers. Y'all know how I feel about transfers. I feel like you need to use your transfers. So if you have not watched me use transfers, I do some larger, I want to say nice pieces, because I think this is a nice piece. We're going to use it every day and we're going to make it pretty with some transfers. I'm going to put it like this so I can see exactly where I want it. Okay. I know that took a lot of concentration trying to figure out where I was putting that. How I do all of my transfers, I just go around in a circle. The reason I do that is because I want to make sure that all my edges get transferred. So, or towards the middle, I guess is a good way to say it. All right, and then I take my finger over it just to make sure we've got in all of those little grooves that I was telling you about. And we've got our pretty transfer on here. So I'm excited because we're going to do a couple on here. Like I said, I do love the color. They just don't make it in my Fusion, so I have that. All right, so there is our second one. If you have the opportunity to kind of get ahead with reels and stuff this week, then I may just relax and take it all in. All right, so we've got these three on here. Now, y'all, that's super cute. Okay, now we're going to take our script. 33 of these left in stock. They do come unstenciled with black paint, so they are pretty, but mine has been very well loved, as you can tell. And then where we don't have our stencil, we'll line it up here in just a second. So I'm just going to hold it stenciled really dark, and I'm going to lift that up, and we're just going to have a little bit of the writing. Can y'all see that? In the background. Okay, so we have our Dark Hills wax. I'm going to offload it just a little bit, just like we did. And then I'm going to work it around some of this, okay? And it's just gonna kind of bring a little dark, and you'll see the difference in color. Y'all might not be able to, but I'll show you here in a second. We're just gonna work that in. All right, guys, how cool is that? I got one spot right here that I can see that is a little bit chunkier. So we're just gonna unchunky it. And we're gonna even it out. See how cool that is? So it just added a little bit of character that kind of like fits into everything else. And then we can take a little bit more, just like we do like edging and stuff, and just really bring in that top part. All right, guys, now I'm done with that side. All right, how pretty is that, y'all? So just to kind of show y'all, what do y'all think? Do y'all like that? So that is the darker color with the lighter transfers. We could add more transfers, we could add more verbiage, but here is the color without the wax, just to kind of show y'all. And then here is with the wax. So can y'all see the difference? Y'all give me some hearts if y'all can see the difference. So side with wax, side without wax. With the wax, without the wax. All right, I am gonna go ahead and do the sides with the wax just real quick. All right, so this one's gonna be a little bit different than the other side because we don't wanna do anything exactly the same. So we're gonna do 4 on here. Put that one that way. Okay, so 1 down, 3 to go. I was looking at the time. A little flare on it. That'll fit what you like or what your customers like. Okay, so here are our 4 right here. Remember, we're not done. We have our transfers on here. And then we're gonna make sure they're all burnished. I would love it if you would use my code. When you check out, I do get a small commission. And I'm kind of doing this one a little bit darker than the other one, but not super, super darker. So then we have our cute script on there. All right. So we've got all of our script across here. And then we'll just add that wax again. All right, I like that better. Y'all know I like the dramatic look there. Thank you for the stars, my friend. All right, so we have a cute box that we can do so many. We can put so many. I actually thought about putting one in the center too, one of the larger ones, just, you know, so you could have the box. And then we've got that side, and see how the wax picked up all that cool grooves. And then we have this side, y'all. So I hope y'all enjoyed this process tonight, kind of to show you how to get a distressed look without having to do the chippy paint and all of that. I love how it turned out. Thank you for hanging out with me, guys. Stay safe this weekend, guys, and I will see y'all next Friday at 7 p.m. Central. Bye, guys.